Danganronpa! Because, God, I really want to try to have this game actually finished. And have one finished game on the channel. One finished game. That would be the accomplishment of a lifetime. Mainly because I like choosing games that take hours on end. And I don't like continuously doing things on hours on end. As you guys noticed, I have officially all 11 episodes that are up of this series. All of them have thumbnails. Nice thumbnails too, because God, I don't even know what I was doing when I was making some of those thumbnails. But anyway, let us continue.
Sakura's
Oh my God, she's just repeating the same word over and over.
dead.
Eek, yeah?
She's really dead?
Oh God, Asahina. I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on. At Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura was really dead, checking for a pulse or a reaction? I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room. And why? Why did it have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there, motionless behind her, while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there, unable to do a thing, time just passed. Yep, is that a one finished game on the channel? Because I'm a little bit behind on Fire Emblem Echoes to say I finished the game. And I am near the end of Spirit of Justice to say I finished that game. Otherwise, nothing on this channel's finished. Nothing on the channel's complete. And after that, I don't know how long. I got everyone.
What?
Ogre!
Yes.
Oh, so she's dead, huh?
I see.
Sakura's been killed, I see. You! I don't feel that you're a murderer, which is good, but God, do you have your suspiciousness on this? Like, God, are you on fleek for being suspicious? As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what this means.
Interesting.
Sakura was murdered, and by someone in this very room. Zena, I will never finish Yokai Watch, much less Pokemon. Yokai Watch, I continued on my own beyond when I played for you guys, and then also it gets so much copyright that it's not worth it. Doesn't really matter. Pokemon, same situation. I accidentally played it beyond what I showed you guys. And it's not like Persona 5 where I could technically show you guys more, but I recorded so much that requires a lot of editing, which is why it probably will also not be complete. I could maybe try for Berseria, but that would be a long, just constant go as I can. Other than that, I think at most you might get the Ace Attorney games. I'm going to try to actually finish the Ace Attorney games as I go. Especially because we're going to be restarting Apollo Justice, again, for the 3DS version of the HD remake. Because, God, did I hate the phone version. Is that what you were going to say? No. Whoever killed her, it's not just someone in this room.
It's your fault!
It was one of you! Hiro, Byakuya, and Toko! One of you killed Sakura! What?
What?
You're accusing us before we even begun the investigation? I don't need to investigate anything! Because you hated her! You hated the sight of her! One of you did it! I know it! You know it?
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Jeez! I didn't know your power level would increase that much by just getting mad!
What the heck?
What are you Lisa Hina, or you're gonna ruin that little face of yours. Now then, with that Hold on. There's something I want to ask you.
Huh?
It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura! Or the mastermind messed with the party! Because quite honestly, I can't believe that anyone in this room is actually a murderer at this point. It's just, yes, I think that Byakuya would be like the next one to do something, but Genocide Jill isn't gonna kill her because she's not a dude. The way Sakura was acting seemed a little awkward, and she also said she was gonna take on the mastermind, which makes me think that the mastermind either killed her, Monokuma killed her, or they messed with the body. I don't know. I have thoughts.
Say what?
Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again and
In
then...
other words,
Then I killed her? Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. The whole thing is totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to the most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Regrettable. Okay, I'm gonna keep that choice of word in mind, because that does not mean that she didn't get killed by the mastermind. Which, thank God for that, it saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. Because even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that.
hey,
I gotta tell ya, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her.
well,
So I don't know who it was, but whoever the blackened is this time, I owe you one.
what is this?
You owe them one? I'm sorry. Whoopsie. Before you get all pissy potty on me, you better figure out who did it first. Because I mean, your lives are on the line, right?
What is this?
What the hell? He owes them one?
I won't forgive
I
you.
hate him. I hate this whole thing. Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind, after all. Byakuya, don't say shit like that. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway,
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina? I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
That's fine.
Okay then, Hina is guard number 1, but we need more. Kyoko, that's you.
what?
Me? You're always a thorn in my side. This time, just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. Shut up! An order?
That's fine.
Fine. I'll stand behind. I'll stay behind. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on! Before that, there's something I want to say.
What?
Which is... Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene. What?
It's your fault!
One of you killed Sakura.
I
I
won't forgive
won't
you.
let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
It's all clear now.
I won't ask you to let us all in. Just let me. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway. Yep. Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. Oh, that's creepy. And you, Hiro, do you object? If you're going to go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care?
It's all clear now.
Then it's decided.
What are you saying?
Nothing's decided.
Calm down.
I know how you feel, Hina, but you should agree to his request. But
Hey,
we have to find out who killed Sakura.
correct.
For those of us alive to honor Sakura's memory. Fine, I guess that's okay. But No matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her! Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
Listen.
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
Listen to me.
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura? It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. Investigate! I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death was estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Monokuma file number 4 has been added to the Truth Bullets section of your handbook.
Hey,
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that?
so...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with a chair from inside the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside, then there's no way in or out until we broke the door. There's like zero escape, right? Unless, is there a secret passage in this room? That is the question.
In other words...
In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? Okay. Let me bring up my detective skills. We're gonna figure out what happened to you, Sakura. I'm still thinking it's something with the mastermind, because God, does this smell fishy? It's like out of everybody that could have died in this chapter, it was you, which smells super fishy. I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
Hey,
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind. I don't need to know anymore, but I apparently get no choice.
that's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime and then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving locking of the room. Basic approaches including a string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room has already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words...
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch, it fires a handgun, you shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
However...
But in this case, it doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think I can probably cross that one off the list.
It's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words...
They stay hidden, and when the door is open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else. That's that. It sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
It's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room?
In other words...
By that I mean there's actually an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. Do you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. I believe maybe not, because we already found one secret room in this building. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basic types. So there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Sakura drew her last breath, still slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of a blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she also had vomited blood. And I can see traces of blood on her lips for sure. So what could have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Status of Sakura's body as it added to the truth bullets. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya?
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting, don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. What's that? It looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
That's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little bit. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box in the warehouse. I really liked them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much. But I wanted Sakura to get the chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper has been added to the truth bullet section of your tablet. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around.
so...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she liked her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is it?
Hey,
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of blue glass. They must be part of the window I broke to get inside.
correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it. What does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue for later. I will actually laugh if that was actually what was holding the door closed. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting in. The glass is all red and they're the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So it must have originally been a bottle. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figurine. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. What the hell is a Monokuma figure? There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Because this must have been the blood she was vomiting. What's this? Huh? The locker's open, and there's on the inside. Is it a handprint?
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like something touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker, and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was open? Don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group?
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh, yeah. And the locker was already open at that point.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in here until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then... What does this handprint mean? Locker handprint has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Oh, look at bottles. There are 4 red bottles lined up on a shelf. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is, how do they get all those figures inside the bottle?
So...
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is a Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. And the red shards of glass which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit on the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? That doesn't seem like it would kill her, though. Like, I feel like you lied in your Monokuma file, because, I'm sorry, getting hit to the head with just a little bottle ain't gonna kill you. You need something a lot more blunt. Something like that breaks on impact isn't going to have the force necessary. Nor is it heavy enough. I shouldn't know this, but God, come up with more convincing ways of killing someone. The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon.
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her, you know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me, she said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon, the Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stop her, by force even, this would never have even happened. Hina, it's impossible not to have regrets. But it seems like all three of them could have been in this room. I still don't think any of them are the murderers, so I don't know what to think at this point. She asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard from the three of them directly. Hi, Byakuya. You and me, we're gonna have a little discussion here.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do as it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. Byakuya's account is added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Alright, let's look at the door. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock and there's no evidence of the mountings having been tampered with. The only noticeable change on the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence of any kind of string or mechanism that was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. What about that chair? The chair was shoved up against the doorknob so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence of any kind of string or mechanism that was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning, and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created a locked room from inside, not from outside. Okay. We're gonna X and go check on the other... What? Why is it not letting me exit the room? I examined all I need to. No. something I'm missing? I don't get what I'm missing. I felt like I examined everything that's here. Okay. If anybody knows what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I need to talk to Kyoko?
However,
But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
it's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly, they would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so for the most part.
So then,
Then you should probably go talk to people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? Do I get no free will? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Yes. Alright, we need to go to Toko's door. Actually, hold on. Before I do Jack Dilly squat to the other 2, can I go into Sakura's room? Can I? Or can't I? Apparently I can't! Damn it. I don't know where Toko's room... There it is. I press the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
Who's there?
Ah, the most negative aura I've ever felt. The aura of total decay.
Oh? What do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something. I want to talk about the fact that Sakura asked to meet with you. What?
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with the master too? I just said too, didn't I? I guess that was totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit it, I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Toko's account is bad to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Alright, where's Yasuhiro's room? Byakuya, Mondo, Kyoko. So, it has to be down here. Leon, Yasuhiro. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Do you need something? Yeah, actually, I wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How'd you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? I'm not the one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Oh, when she asked me to meet her with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. Not really, I don't think you got the brain cells to really be super suspicious, but yeah, I think you're lying to me. So then you went and met with Sakura.
You got it all wrong!
No way! I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually...
The last time I saw the ogre was when Hina caught her and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, it looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Oh, you son of a douche! You son of a douche!
Huh?
Ah! Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again. And he shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry about bit of trash. I forgot to throw it out. No, you didn't! No, you didn't! I don't know what you did! But you've done something super suspicious now that you're lying for. Trash.
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that the ogre has to meet with me, but I never win. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that it was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Pocket trash has been added to the truth bullet section. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look around the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about that protein can we found on the floor in the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Chem lab, it's the chem lab. Oh, there's a second floor on the dorms. Why is there a second floor on the dorms? Especially if it's not unlocked yet. We've just been unlocking the school. He's too stupid to kill and basically get away with it like that murder was. Because that murder was goddamn clean! If it's a murder. I still don't have my utter confidence that it was actually a murder. Wait, no, this isn't the chem lab, is it? I made a mistake! This is the physics lab. I mistook my sciences. God, that's on the next floor.
What?
You! Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes, sir, I understand. Ah! Screw you, douchey nozzle! What is that? First, let's look at this. This is my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. Looks like the shelves are connected together in one giant shelf. More important thing right now is that there's a powder spilled in front of the shelf. I have to be careful not to step in it. This one. Let's see, what's on this shelf? There's all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. Protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers for this shelf are labeled with the letter A. So I guess I can consider this part of shelving unit A. Huh? But wait. There's one bottle here labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put this here on accident? So on this shelf, it looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're agents. Simply put, they're used to experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. Have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh?
What?
What do you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
In the words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that! Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter B. I can guess I can consider this part of shelving Unit B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about the shelf. On this shelf is, one look I can tell, nothing but dangerous chemicals. It looks like the poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I can guess I can consider this part section C. I was trying to find out more about this shelving unit. Looks like it's split into 3 sections: dietary, reagents, and lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from section A. But what concerns me is in section A, there's a bottle that was labeled from section C. What was a bottle of poison from section C doing in section A? There's definitely something going on here. Chem lab shelf has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Oh my goodness, there's poison spilled on the floor. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? It looks like a bottle with the label Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words...
That's right, it could have only been around the time of the incident. That's really when it happened. It must be related to the case somehow. Source of powder has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Alright, footprints! These are footprints, and they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
What?
Well, let's go. Chop, chop. Okay. So I got to work before long. I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me?
I see.
So when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear whoever left these footprints had only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to, then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? No.
What?
Okay then, let me see your shoe and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit that these are not your footprints. Unfortunately? Then these prints are a really valuable clue. What? I just did! If you lay out the footprints, it looks like this, and when you look at the pattern, whoever left these went to the shelf on the left, and that's it. They went straight there, did something, then left. That's according to the footprints, anyway. The prints are really clear, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out whose they are, which means these footprints are a super valuable clue. Why must I check out this area? I thought I got everything. Look at the bottle again. Bottle. Byakuya's answering me. Anyone know what I'm supposed to be doing? poisons and chemicals. Let's see in the number. What do you want from me, Makoto? I should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. It also remains a broken bottle. Looks like the bottle is filled with chemistry before. Also looks like some footprints in the powder. According to Bianca, the powder would have had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Okay! So that's what I had to do. God. He wants Naegi to be the murderer. So that he can just get rid of me. Because I'm his most danger for when he wants to commit murder, although I doubt he'll ever do it.
Hey,
So Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told
I
me.
see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway,
Well, I've made some progress on my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These three things have revealed new clues. You do well to look them over one more time. Okay? Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident?
hey,
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Oh my god, Naegi's in the chat! Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is... On one of the pages near the center of the magazine, the words have been written in bold, bloody letters. It said Toko. Could this be a dying message?
correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Toko, is this...
So,
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message.
however,
But, just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... It says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it. What the heck? Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's settled. She's the killer for sure. Naegi's actually here, even when he looks over the murder. Yeah, shockingly. You know what? I'm playing as him. He's somehow in my chat. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Okay. So, obviously, we gotta check the body if there's any blood on her fingers. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's
just
body.
a second.
Just staring into space isn't gonna help you figure out anything out. Well, yeah, I know,
Hey.
but don't you think you might need to actually examine the body?
Whew.
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although, there is still sometimes. I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal. And how can you?
So,
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind.
hey,
More importantly, look here. Her shoes? You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands
I
out.
see.
That powder is clue number 1. Yeah, my goodness! I think you were poisoned! And you knocked over the poison when you were getting your drink! Oh, that makes this worse!
Hey,
And now Byakuya's in my chat! What the hell? Next is a wound on her head. Look
it's
carefully.
true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just
It
explain.
would seem...
It would appear she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows.
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one. Meaning she didn't write that message!
It's true.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Kyoko's examination summary has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. She also has no blood from the head, which is also making me not believe that that's what killed her. Can't believe she was able to learn that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Okay. Look at the bottles. I think Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new, something new.
Hey,
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. Correlation. Hey Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
so...
I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. It looks like there's two missing, but God, I don't know crap. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? Da-da-da! No answer? I do trust you, to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree? Monokuma bottle has been updated in the truth bullet section of your handbook.
Hey.
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
Anyway...
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Are you sure it's okay for me to mess with the crime scene like that?
That doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so that's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya's not here, so...
So then...
Anyway, I need to go get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is about, but... What choice do I have? I better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
So then...
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. What kind of experiment are we doing?
In other words...
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare the weights. Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected in one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of the two normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced.
In other words...
Which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same and nothing else could really affect the weight.
So then...
Now, here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now what might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here or there.
So then...
Okay then, let's give it a try. What the hell? Why is it heavier? The broken pieces are heavier? How's that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought. What?
In other words...
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles
Hey.
put it all together. I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. I think there might have been 2 bottles of glass that we picked up. Ding bong.
Whoops, you caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake.
Well, screw you too, Monokuma.
Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time, but the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No! Not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dums. When he gets bored, it's just a bad time all around. Monokuma made his announcement, and everyone began to meet up one after another. The room is so empty now! And then... the ultimate martial artist! A locked-room murder mystery!
What?
What the? Oh, I just recently discovered the power of emoticons! Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive! I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's really how it works, otherwise the emoji movie would be so much better.
Yes, indeed.
For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body! This is just plain creepy.
Well?
And how about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put a sad face, it makes it look super negative, where it makes you look like a toad.
Yes, indeed.
For example, do you have 100 friends? He's right, that does make it seem sad.
I can't wait.
I think it just makes it seem like somebody's being a douche. I don't want to kick the crap out of Monokuma. I'm very positive we've all made that clear. Now then, please get on the elevator. I'll see you all down there. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I don't get it.
Just the worst.
I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at me!
I don't think I'm acting casual.
Don't be mean!
I mean, I didn't murder anyone. Yeah, I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer? What the heck? Whatever. Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't think all of you are the culprit. I think some of you are freaking lying to my face. Doesn't mean I think you're the culprit. The killer. The one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. And yet someone killed her. And that person is here. That person is one of us. Come on, it's time to put an end to this. I made my way towards the elevator. But with each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close and felt it begin its sinister descent. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again. Just the 6 of you, huh? Really? That's so few. You must be so lonely. You say that like it's not your fault that we're all that's left. I wonder, will the class trial end with one last classmate again, or... And that's actually where I'm going to end it today, guys. We're going to continue tomorrow with the trial section, and then hopefully getting into chapter 5. I'm positive there's more than just 4 chapters to this. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, everyone.